Did you have a little moment where you were like, I'm rich, I'm going to sail off into the sunset, this is epic?
No, nothing like that. I was just happy to you know, you're excited because you found something, but, you know, even then I said, wow, this will look good in the cabinet at home, you know, like this. You know, it was no more than that.
It's just fascinating when you find a lump of rock that looks like it might be the right shape, and you start thinking, hang on, that's not just a lump of rock, that's something else.
This rugged, rocky landscape looks and feels about as far away from the ocean as humanly possible. But what lies beneath this land tells of a time when life here looked unimaginably different. And for nearly 30 years, David Elliott has been helping unearth outback Australia's prehistoric inland sea piece by piece.
I went nearly 10 years at Belmont without finding a darn thing. But once I knew what to look for, I found like 7 dinosaurs in a few years. You just got to know what you're looking for, because sometimes it might only be a rock that big, and under it could be a fairly complete dinosaur. You don't know.
Winton sheep grazier David Elliott's life took a remarkable twist in 1999. It's little wonder his tale has been shared many times in the decades since.
Chasing off a sheep, and they give me a bit of a hard time, and I was in a pretty foul mood, actually.
And they got a bit of go in them when they're shorn too, and I was on my own. So I had a mob that was, you know, as soon as you go to wheel the lead, the tail would turn around and go the opposite direction. So I've got 2 mobs of sheep going different directions and trying to hold that together. I was just flat out on the bike and nearly hit, just, you know, you swerve to dodge a bunch of rocks. But even at that pace, you know what it, you know, I knew exactly what it was. I jammed the brakes on, had a quick look and took off after sheep again, and I didn't come back for a while. You know, you get busy, eh?
David had discovered a fossilised femur from Australia's largest dinosaur, the sauropod, later aptly named Elliott.
What got to me is just the excitement all around the country of people with this bloody dinosaur. You know, I thought, well, I'm pretty keen interested on this, but didn't realise everyone else was so excited about it.
And news of what was being found beneath Winton's black soil quickly spread around the country and the world.
Did you have a little moment where you were like, I'm rich, I'm going to sail off into the sunset, this is epic?
No, nothing like that. I was just happy to you know, you're excited because you found something, but, you know, even then I said, wow, this will look good in the cabinet at home, you know, like this. You know, it was no more than that.
But after more incredible fossils were unearthed on their property and other sites around Western Queensland, David realised the discoveries could be really significant locally. In 2002, he and wife Judy called a public meeting to explore building a dinosaur museum right there in the region. Since then, they have never wavered in their mission to make it a reality.
So there's no point in just building something in Winton that's just going to help Winton. I mean, there is a point, obviously, but it's not the big picture. The big picture is how can you do something that attracts more people into the region.
It started with temporary dinosaur displays in Winton's town centre and month-long dinosaur digs held annually across the Shire. Paleontologists descended on the region and more fossils were discovered. In 2009, a decade from David's first find, the first stage of the Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum finally opened on land donated by fellow pastoralists Peter and Carol Britton.
It's a terrific day for Winton, but it's a great day for the world.
The humble-looking green shed welcomed 13,000 visitors in its first year. Since then, hundreds of thousands of tourists have trekked to see Winton's dinosaurs, Winton itself and other outback towns on the way.
Dinosaurs have been the big draw card for them. It's what's brought them here, but on their way out, they will stop. Longreach, Barcald and all these other places on the way. So all the communities on the way to and from attractions like this benefit hugely.
Our biggest year was almost 60,000. That was in 2021 after COVID. And on average, we get about 40 to 45,000 people.
Not bad for a region with a population of fewer than 2,000. But the past few years have been challenging for a remote tourist attraction. And the latest blow, a fuel crisis at the most inopportune time.
Happens exactly the same time, just at the beginning of the season when we only really make money here for about 4 to 5 months of the year. And then we go from running even sort of thing to making a loss over summer.
Farmers are nothing if not entrepreneurial, and David Elliott, although technically no longer a farmer, has stayed true to his roots. When visitor numbers drop, he looks for what else can be done. During the pandemic lockdowns, the museum team took on the incredible task of relocating and reassembling Australia's best preserved dinosaur trackway from a cattle station 50 kilometres northwest of Winton to the museum site, where the incredible 54 metres of sauropod and other prehistoric prints are now preserved forever.
Do you reckon that's the farmer in you?
Yeah, that's it. Well, like, you know, and I thought the fuel crisis, and same with the floods and all that sort of stuff, what's the bloody difference to being a cocky out in the paddock? You know, you got a drought, you know, you got no feed, you're running in negative, and you borrow a bit more money and hang in there until, because you know it will come good, and then you pick up again.
Naomi Miles, the head of museum at the Australian Age of Dinosaurs, shares this philosophy.
As soon as you stop moving, I think that's the death of places.
She's passionate about promoting regional sustainability by tapping into a place's natural assets.
This country has got a lot to offer, and I don't think people have seen nearly enough of it.
And that extends to the outback night skies. Few people get to see it quite like this, which is why part of the museum site is now accredited as Australia's first dark sky sanctuary, thanks to Naomi's work.
Someone's always the dinosaur nerd that kind of drags people out. But there's a lot of other things to see out here, and there's a lot of biodiversity and like dark skies and plants that people can enjoy as well.
Outback Queensland, we've got the best dark sky resource on the planet. You know, anywhere in Central Australia, the small towns, the very little light pollution, we just get the best skies, best view of the dark skies on the planet. Groups of stars making clusters and clusters of clusters until you get entire galaxies.
And importantly, it's helping entice a different type of traveller to Winton.
You know, we get people along here who've, you know, they're in their 60s or 70s, they're doing their lap of Australia. For some of them, it's the first time they've ever looked through a telescope and perhaps started to, you know, see Jupiter or Saturn in the sky.
No matter the draw card though, the museum and Winton, and in fact all of outback Queensland, which relies heavily on drive tourism, is feeling the fallout from the fuel crisis.
We're probably about 50-55% down on visitor numbers on the bus for red dirt tours to what we'd normally expect from the last 4 years at least.
We're very mindful about how much the tourism dollar brings into these small communities, which is why we've travelled in this time of high diesel prices.
There's fuel everywhere and the prices have not been anything like outrageous, so we've been really pleased with that, because we did think about not coming and then we thought, why not?
But unless more people adopt that why not attitude, the risk of rural business closures is very real.
If we don't have people hitting the roads coming to see all the amazing attractions out here, then Outback Australia dies. And that's why it's very important that the museum acts as that hub of getting people here, and then we want them to see everything within this region. So if we can act as the draw card, that's great, but our end goal is to get you out into the regions.
For some, one visit just isn't enough. Ali and Hugh Calvi first came to Winton to take part in a dinosaur dig 17 years ago.
I'm a dinosaur tragic. I love minerals. I love rocks.
That one dig became an annual pilgrimage before eventually they decided to move here. Now Ali supervises the fossil prep laboratory, where she and Hugh work alongside numerous other volunteer preppers.
It's just fascinating when you find a lump of rock that looks like it might be the right shape, and you start thinking, hang on, that's not just a lump of rock, that's something else. And yeah, it sucks you in.
There's a few people that are, you know, have been in the town for quite a long time now, that came because of the museum, and I love that. I love thinking, you know, you feel like you're contributing something to the region by bringing people, you know, so bring good people to the town that, you know, towns need people.
As the Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum has steadily grown, so too has the amount of work required to run it. Prompting David Elliott to hang up his grazier's hat 10 years ago, leaving his sons to run the property.
I miss the property, but you miss it in your head, but it's bloody hard work out on the joints, you know, and I used to do all my own crushing. I wouldn't be able to do a pen now, you know. It'd be the end of me.
Now, and for a long time to come, he'll be busy helping prepare and classify a huge backlog of fossils for eventual display. 3D printing has opened up a whole new world of possibilities, scanning fossils to create accurate miniature replicas.
If you found a complete skull, you wouldn't get this information without having to tear the top off it, you know,
Right.
which you really wouldn't want to do.
No.
The museum's Cretaceous Garden is one of David's more recent passion projects.
So the cycads, you know, we've got fossils for those from Belmont, particularly fossils from cycads. Over here, they're caripines.
We're having a curated collection of plants that you can't see anywhere else in the world that will be protected in a natural environment that people from all around the world can see.
So tell me a little bit about the garden project, David.
This represents what a dead dinosaur might have looked like 100 million years ago before we found it, you know. So we made a mould with latex of a boggy dam at Belmont. When we find a dinosaur site, that's what we'll often find, you know, it's just bones like that, you know, just like all over the place, but usually in a line.
And if you find one, then you know, work out from that, you're going to find more.
Yeah, you might find more.
His next goal is more than a big dream, it's massive.
We don't have a museum that tells the story of evolution in Australia, and that's the purpose of this museum.
Build it and they will come. That's the attitude that David Elliott has about constructing the country's first natural history museum right here in outback Queensland. And the deadline has been set to have it built in time for the Olympics in 2032.
I think that'd be amazing, you know, as a celebration project for Australia for the Olympic Games in Australia, you know, so that'd be a good thing. So we're pushing to that.
It would cost $150 million. A lot of money when you don't have it.
Money helps you make things happen, but I'm determined not to let money stop us. You know, we can do anything. If you only got $50, you can still go and bloody well do something with it, you know.
David has been awarded both an Order of Australia medal for his contribution to science and recognised as a local hero in the Australian of the Year Awards.
I've been working up on this museum full-time now for 10 years and, you know, I love the place. I love the fact of what it can do for the country. You feel as though you're doing something that's worthwhile.
While the sod turning on a natural history museum is still a dream, paleo-tourism is currently valued at more than $100 million a year to the outback Queensland economy. Dinosaur digs are held every year and visitors to the dinosaur capital always have the opportunity to see a new discovery.
We have found a fair percentage of what we've had in the district. That's easy, but that doesn't mean we found anything like all of it.